Hello everyone. So you may know me from Instagram. If you know me from Instagram, I am the dyslexic author. So I am doing this today. I'm going to do kind of like a write with me, but like Preptober style. So I decided in all the craziness that I wanted to use November as which is NaNoWriMo month. There we go. I wanted to use it as a way of kind of helping get some of my edits done. So I actually got probably about halfway through the drafts with my critique group, and I was like, you know what, there's some things I need to clear up, clean up, fix up, things like that I noticed for the coming chapters. So that is what I am working on. That's what all this is back here. And I've been working on kind of preparing that so that in November I can kind of, it's basically redrafting the entire second half of my book. Yay! So I am going to be doing that. So this is kind of like a organize with me, plan with me, draft with me, or whatever you want to call it. So I just wrote down, I have a list down here of things that I need to do. So right now I'm working on the beats for Rebellion. So I know I already had beats, I already had them all set up, but then there's like a couple things that came in and during our critiques, during my critiques with critique partners, which is what all these are. And so I was like, you know what, there's a couple things I need to fix. So I need to go back through these beats and just kind of clean them up. I was thinking about doing some beats for the other series I have. It's a fantasy series. It's on the list, but I don't know if I want to get into that today because that's a lot. And then I also have to, it's going to sound weird, but I wanted to go into Pinterest. And if you guys use Pinterest for your writing, it is fabulous. It's a great way to help with visuals. So I was thinking about going into Pinterest and going through and pinning some stuff to help with the visuals when it comes to Rebellion, which is the second book in the sci-fi trilogy, and kind of helping with that because that was one of the notes that I had the most from critique partners was some of the description stuff. So I wanted to pen things and it helps me be able to then put it on paper kind of thing. And then I have in here my edits from critiques, like this one's chapter 5, this one's chapter 6, this one's chapter 7, this one's chapter 8. I have these and then I have some online as well through Google Docs. So I have to go through those and fix those. And then I also put on the list chapter 10 revisions, which is where I'm starting from, where the revisions are kind of from then on. Slash drafting, because I have already cut a big chunk of chapter 10 up and I'm basically rewriting it. It's fun. So if you're a writer and an author and you were trying to get through Preptober stuff, this is going to be kind of the first video I want to do, which is just going to be me organizing, preparing for NaNoWriMo. And if you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, you need to look it up. So NaNoWriMo is a great way, it's like accountability basically for writers. It stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it's the month of November. And the goal is, if you're going like the standard NaNoWriMo, the goal is to write 50,000 words in that month so that you end up with basically a first draft of a novel. A novel starts at 50,000 words and goes up to, I believe it was 110 words, 120, something like that, before you get to like epic size novels. So that's the goal, is to get at least 50,000 words on a paper. It's your first draft kind of thing. You can use, one thing I like about NaNoWriMo is it's kind of accountability. So you can use the website and everything where you put in how many words you do every day, things like that. There's writing groups and stuff like that, which is awesome. But I also like the fact that I can take NaNoWriMo and instead of doing a 50,000 word draft, I can set my own goals and I can fulfill my own goals. Like for this reason would be basically revising slash redrafting the second half of my book, Rebellion, where I actually ended up doing that. I got the first draft of Rebellion from Camp NaNoWriMo, which is in April. So that's what we're doing, is going through that and cleaning it up now. So let's get started. I am going to do timers on my phone, which, never mind, I'm not going to do timers on my phone because you're my phone. I'm going to do timers on my computer, and I'm going to time increments of that, and then I will talk to you in between. So let's get started. Okay. Okay. So that was about 20 minutes. I did forget, of course, to start the timer, so that's why it may have been a little bit more, a little bit less, not sure. So I was able to kind of finish up the beats. So that's what I did at first, kind of cleaning up some beats. Now, when I do the beats for, let's find it. There we go. When I do the beats, I like to do them in the, what is this word? The corkboard mode for Scrivener. If you don't know what Scrivener is, it's a great, something's going off. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So apparently I have to actually click the button. So it is a great application, a great program for writers. It is actually specifically meant for writers, screenwriters, novel writers, short writers, all that stuff. So it is a great way to kind of put everything in one place so that you don't have research in one spot, you don't have drafts in one spot, you don't have this over here, you know what I mean? Everything's in one spot and you can easily flip through it within one program. So it's a great program to use. I love using this corkboard. What I'll do is I will use the Save the Cat beats, which I just printed off on paper and laminated, and this normally is pinned on this board back here. But I will use that and I will name each of the, like, I guess the flashcards. It looks like a flashcard, so I'll name each of them one of the beats. Now, I am not someone who's going to hold hard and fast to the Save the Cat beats. I'm someone who will use them as a guidepost, but I will not be like, it has to be this and it has to be exactly I don't know, 5%, right? Because if you actually read the book, Save the Cat, and you go through the beats of Save the Cat, there's the percentages, 20 to 50%, blah, blah. I don't use that. I just kind of use it as a guidepost of what I want to happen when, and making sure that I'm organized in my thoughts. So this is a great way to do it for me. So then I will put the different beat names on the top of the cards, and then I will go through and kind of write what I want to have happen in each of those beats. Now, one of these beats could be 2 or 3 scenes. It doesn't have to be one scene, one beat, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be multiple scenes per beat. I just do it based off of what I want to happen in that time frame. So like with opening image, it's going to be the characters. It's going to be, I think I wrote down with it, how the crew interacts with each other and what happens since the end of Khunda, which is the first book. So it's kind of going to be like a little bit of a filling in point. And it's also going to show a lot of how the crew is interacting with each other, because now there's, a different crew setup than we had in the first book. So it's that. And then how they're kind of like how the world's going to interact with them, I guess the word would be. And what is the catalyst. So catalyst is the fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's kind of like, for me, like right now I have basically 2 catalysts that are happening at 2 different times. But the main catalyst is over here to the main story. And then over here, you're going to have, is where it's like, it jumps them into the storyline. What happens that makes them have to start doing these other things. So I don't hold so hard and fast to the beats, but I do like using them as a guidepost. So that's why I use the corkboard. This is a great way for me visually to see it. I'm a visual person. I like to see what I'm looking at or what I'm working on. There you go. That's what I got, right? Let's see here. So I went through and I just kind of cleaned up some beats, wrote some stuff down. That's what I got there. I then went to Pinterest, and I love Pinterest as a, again, visual person. As a writer, I love Pinterest to find the imagery that not only sparks my imagination, also sparks my creativity, but also is going to help me when I go back to describe things. So when I do the draft, I'm literally focused on, sorry, I'm adjusting because I'm uncomfortable. I'm adjusting, or I'm writing just to get it down, just to get the story down. I want the storyline down. So I really do focus on the big to small edits and revisions. I want the story to be good. I want the characters' art to be good. I want that stuff first. And then when I go and revision, like to edit some more, then I'll start adding extra details and extra kind of ways of describing things and the landscapes and the visuals and stuff like that, because I'm focused solely on the story first. This is more of a space opera, I think call it soft science sometimes too, but no, like space opera kind of science fiction. So to me, the story means more. And that's the way I am as a writer. Like the people, the interaction, the story kind of means more to me than explaining, I don't know, how to grow potatoes on Mars. Like, if you've ever read The Martian, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not hard science in that sense. I think the story is more important to me. For me, there are people that are like, I want to know the science, and that's great. You have those, but I'm not one of those writers. So for me, I want that stuff first. I want the story first, and then I want the visuals and the sciencey part and the tech part to come in my next round of edits. I don't focus on it first. If I focused, when I edit, by the way, if I focused on every single detail the first round, I hate it. I'm not kidding you. When I went to start editing Khunda, the first book, I did that. I tried to make every chapter, like chapter 1, perfect for everything, and then we go edit chapter 2, and then you get to like chapter 5, and then you realize there's something you got to fix in chapter 1, 2, 3, so you did all of that work and you're going to mess it up anyway. So that's why I'm like, we're not doing that way, because it just made editing a living flipping hell. So this is the way I do it. I do the big story. Like, I want to know that the story's good, people are interested in it, does it keep them hooked, does it keep them reading, things like that, before I go in and put in all the extra details, and before I start putting in all of the grammar stuff. I make sure that the story is good, then I'll put in the details, and then I'll put in the fix the grammar stuff. So I'm definitely very layered when I go to edit now. So this is what I have for my Pinterest board. If you haven't used Pinterest, As a writer, it is a fabulous tool to have. There's a ton of aesthetics where it's fantasy, sci-fi, whatever you have. I'm not kidding you, you can find the aesthetics for it. And it's just kind of, you just start typing in keywords that fit what you're looking for. I think when I started this board, I looked up like science fiction or spaceships or something like that, just looking for those little keywords. And that's how I ended up getting these. And then at the bottom of each, you start a board, and I just start pinning to the board. I'll organize them later. And then at the bottom it says find some ideas for this board. So based off of what you've pinned on that board, it'll give you more ideas. So I go to that and I'll just start clicking from there and start saving some more. This is just because we're not on the same worlds that we were in Khunda. In Khunda, we were on separate worlds. This one, we're going to be on different worlds. This time I wanted the worlds to be a little less advanced, I guess the word would be. I want more of an Egyptian feel for one of them. Alpha Virgo is going to have more of an Egyptian kind of feel, like ancient Egypt kind of feel to it. And then we're on Aria, which has, again, maybe more of like a Moroccan, kind of like that feel to it. It's not completely technologically, missing. There's still technology, but it's the history is there too. There's such a history in these worlds, and that's what I wanted. So that's why I went through and pinned a bunch of very beautiful, like this one's Cairo, Egypt. That's a beautiful picture. This one, I have no idea where that is, but it's gorgeous visuals that show you kind of the history in a place that look like historical places, which is what I like. And then I also pinned a bunch of imagery for spaceships. So one of the chapter I think we just critiqued this week, there's multiple rooms in the cargo bay in Khunda, and like they were like, I just can't see that, so like I have to go back. That's my job as the writer, is to go back and then make sure that those visuals are really coming through. So I went in and I started pinning kind of like things that look like what I want them to be. They're not going to be exact. They're not going to be perfect. If you find perfect and exact, that is awesome. High five yourself, because it's not always going to be like that. But I just found some visuals that look very similar to what I want them to look like, or what I'm seeing them in my head. Where's the one? Like this one. This is from, from The Gifted. I don't know what that is. Apparently it's a show. I don't know. But it's from that, and just this visual of the glass, cell, what do we word? It's kind of what I wanted. It's not going to look like, it doesn't look like that in my head, but the glass cell where they're able to like see through it and talk to each other is what I wanted. So that's why I pinned that. So everything's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be enough to really get my imagination going and to be able to get my descriptive words out there is what I want. So Pinterest is what I was doing. I was going through and just pinning things. So if you're a Pinterest fiend and a writer, you can literally just go on Pinterest and be like, no, I'm doing work on my novel. And that works just fine, right? So I marked off the rebellion beats. I feel like I've put enough down there to think about as I am right now. And especially the next 3 or 4 chapters, 10 through something. I feel like I'm clear on what I need. So I'm going to get through those, and then I'll get through the next set. I'm pretty clear. I've cleared up a lot of what I needed to clear up when it comes to the beats of that one. I'm going to go ahead and mark off the pins for Rebellion. I need to organize them, but I'm going to mark off the pins. So what I'm going to do is I should probably go through some edits on chapter 5. I need to catch up with my edits from the critiques I've gotten. So let's talk about that really quick. So as a writer, one of the biggest things that I have seen that has helped my writing and my brain not explode in so many ways has been a critique group. Now, I'm super lucky that the library system that I have here, they have multiple libraries. And I think it's all except for one of the libraries in this library system has a writing group, like has writing groups, has critique groups. So lucky that that is available, and so lucky that that is there. And if you don't have those where you live, you can always go to your library and see if they're ready, they're willing to start up that group. Or if you can use their space to start up their group, and then you can like put it on Facebook or something like that. but critique groups are amazing ways to help you advance your writing. And I'm not kidding you when I say I started this, it's almost gonna be a year. It's a few months short of a year. I started in January of 2022, and just in less than a year, I'm like, holy crap, my writing is so much better because of these people and because of the input that they give me. And it's not like, you know, tearing each other down or anything like that. It's complete opposite, actually. We're very positive, very nice about the way, you know, we talk to each other and things. And even if it's not this kind of story that we would read, we understand, like, as a writer, we need to critique and help these people become better. And how do they do this and how do they do that? You know, things like that. And what are we looking for as readers out of their work? So it's a fabulous way to improve your writing and get better is to find critique groups. Start your own if you have friends that write, or if you have people that just love to read books and, like, you know, be opinionated about it. You can start that way. Put them out on Facebook, see if there's anybody like that. Go onto Facebook groups for your area and see if there's people willing to start a group with you. And just, I always say the word, it's like, just kind of relax with it. You know what I mean? It's not hit or miss, live or die. You know what I mean? It's a process. Writing is a process. Editing is a huge process. Just go with the process and learn as you go. And that's what I think I really got out of, you know, just pushing through Khunda, which I love that book to death, but I'm always like, I'm already looking at it going, man, I could go back and do some edits and, like, clean some things up and fix some things. I'm not doing that anytime soon. I'm busy with Rebellion and with the third book. So I don't want to do that anytime soon, but I've thought about going back and fixing it just because I've learned so much from these groups and from these people and these other writers and their different points of view. So that is a very good thing for you to try if you want to try that. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. And let's go for another 20 minutes. I need to work on chapter 5 edits, which means I'm not going to be using my laptop. I'm going to leave this up though, because I need the visuals really help me. So I'm going to leave this up, but I am going to get the really pretty keyboard out. If you guys have not seen this keyboard before, I love this thing. It looks like a little, like, typewriter. Beautiful little keyboard, and it's just, again, it's just a aesthetic spurge that I got, but I love it because it helps me. I can do it on my tablet, and it's just really good for writing for me. It just gives me in the writing mode. All right, so we're gonna hit the timer for 20 minutes, and I'm going to work on some revisions, actually, from chapter 5. So I have my critique partners notes all right here. So I'm gonna go through those. right, my God, my brain hurts. Okay, so got through that. I got through 2 of those, I think. So when I do the critique groups, what I end up with is a packet of like paper edits. So that some people print them out and then write on them, make their notes on them, things like that. And then I will get the paper edits, but then some people also do it on, we use Google Docs in our group. So you can share folders with everybody in the group and then put everybody's submissions into those folders. So we will copy, like if somebody submits, like I said, a chapter, I can copy that chapter and then like paste it basically into another folder that's just like the comments folder for that specific submission. And I can put my name on it so they know who gave those comments, kind of thing. So if they have any questions, they can ask me, things like that, and it'll be online. So some people do it online, some people do it with paper copies. Some people do it with both. So what they'll do is they will, you know, do all of the online stuff, print it, and then bring that with them as well. So they can, you know, give the comments a little bit easier without having their computer up at our group meetings. So, excuse me. So that's what I was doing. I was just going through and clearing up. So with this, you may have seen towards the end of a couple of these, I don't know if you noticed that, I just basically marked out because what I had to do was the ending of this chapter didn't go over. So like I have a red mark through that, and I just basically ignored the last pages. Didn't go over the way I wanted it to, and didn't hit the way I wanted it to. So basically what I did was I went back in and just deleted that last section and rewrote it the way, you know, kind of like based off the comments I was getting. And it was like, it wasn't hitting right. So I had to redo that one. So that happened with that. And my brain is starting to hurt. What are we at? 1 minute, 23 seconds. Or 1 minute, 1 hour, 23 seconds. So that's why my brain hurts. So yeah, I am pretty much going to wrap up with that. I think what I'm going to do is I have one more paper edit. So I'm going to wrap up the video with that. I'm going to go back and just do that one edit, and then I'm taking a brain break because what time is it? It is 3:45 and my toddler generally wakes up around 4:30ish. So I want to give myself a little bit of time just to decompress, basically. So yeah, that's it. So editing, that's basically the editing process, and it depends on where you are in the process as to what you'll be working on. But the biggest goal as a writer, and the hardest thing at the exact same time, is just getting that first draft done. And that is why NaNoWriMo is such a big event in the writing world, just because that's how a lot of people do just get their first draft done. I don't know why we picked November, which is in the middle of like holidays and everything. So that's why I picked like the November month is going to be like edits and stuff. So going through these edits is kind of my goal, and then kind of fixing some of the other stuff is my goal, because I'm like, not during the month of November. I can't get 50,000 words. April or July, which are the two like camp NaNoWriMos, the other versions, I guess, of it. I can, because there's no massive holidays in there, and there's no things going on. It's not the holiday season, so it's all these family events and stuff going on. So November for me is just going to be editing and revising and fixing and kind of like hitting a goal of getting through that. But it does help with kind of breaking the mountain up and making it, you know, tiny molehills instead of a mountain, right? But yeah, that's what I've got. If you guys have any questions about the editing process, if you have any questions about the writing process, anything about NaNoWriMo you guys want to put in there, if you guys are doing it, in the comments, let us know. And we can like be friends on NaNoWriMo on your website. And that's all I have for you guys. So I'll see you next time. Bye.